Hi, this is Bill Noble, your PGA professional at St Anne's Golf Club. This is stage 3 of pre-warm-up for competition golf. As I said before, in the other part of the short game, I was doing the pitch and the itch and the bunker shots, but you got the pitch, the itch, and then the chip, which is what I feed into next. So I'm now down around what we call the putting area. So I would start hitting a few different chips with many different clubs, just to get a feel for contact. Get used to seeing the flight of the ball up in the air. Also to see how the ball reacts when he hits the green and how much it runs out, and that tells me how firm the greens are, working on pace control. And I've got about my 5 wedges here. I predominantly would use around the greens. Now I'd use other ones if I was a bit further out, but I've got my pitching wedge, I've got my gap wedge 50 degrees, sand wedge 54, got 58, and I also have a 62. So I'm going to start with my most lofted club, which is my 62. I always do. I work from there and back until you get different shots. And when I'm playing these shots, as I said, I'm watching to see how the ball reacts when it hits the ground. I'm picking targets to hit at, which I have here is a red, green and yellow, different distances away from the hole, and see how it reacts. I'm very aware of the contact I'm making, if I'm hitting the ground before the ball, tinning it, so that tells me ball position, so that's immediate feedback. It's all about my feels, and as I'm doing that, I'm trying to be relaxed and get into a setup that I don't really have to think about. Now the chip shot for me, I stand very close to it. Reason for that is it creates a much straighter path, which means there's less going on with the club face. So the club face is consistent, which means the bounce is consistent, which means the height's consistent, which means my distance control is consistent. The only thing that I'm messing around with it is the tempo of my swing, the pace I swing at, similar to what I'm going to do with my putting. So what I do is I set up to it. I would normally do it from behind the ball, but I can't do it with the camera there. And I do a few practice strokes to just get a feel, picking a spot for the end results. So the green here is quite firm. I'm going to go for the red in front of me. Yeah, and see how it responds with that club 62. So it's about a foot short, but I hit my spot. Then I'm going to now go for the green, which is a bit further up. Didn't get as close as I want, so this is why I'm practicing. But again, the ball landed halfway between the green and the red line, but ended up pin high. So we'll go for the green again. That's it. Not bad. And now I'm going to go for the yellow, which is the furthest away, which I know is going to be too strong for this shot. I'm always standing up straight, very close to the ball. Got the green that time, and then you saw what happened. So we'll go again. Go for the yellow. Caught the green again. So I just need to get a lot more what do you call it, I gotta get a lot more upbeat with my tempo every time I'm hitting the shot. So this is the feedback I'm getting with the 62, and I hit 3 or 4 balls to 5 excuse me, with every club. Now that means I'm going to have to get really upbeat with my movement, and that varies the length of my stroke then as well. It's very much a putting stroke, so I'm standing quite upright. Yeah, just landed a bit too far that time, but definitely upright. Go again, so I'm going to try and hit the yellow. Yes, got it that time. So that's what I'm doing. I'm varying the clubs, varying the height of the shot, varying the landing area. I'll use my pitch wedge just to show you. So that's my 58. So you'll see a different flight with this one. It's much lower. But again, I'm aware of my grip pressure, relaxed shoulders. I'm aware of being tension free, my balance, the area I'm hitting, if I'm hitting the ball, the ground before it or after it. This will come off much lower, which it does. Landed just before the red, which is in front of me, and ran more. So it's one extreme view, more loft, stops quicker, spins, but I have to throw further to get to the hole. Pitch and wedge, less loft, land shorter, runs out. So I'm aware of this before I go out and play. I'm constantly working on grip pressure. Okay, so from here, what I'm going to do is do a little bit of putting. So I'm going to show you a few putts with this. I'll just grab these out of the way. So I'm going to hit from three different distances here to my target, and I would normally measure that with a tee or ball marker for different distances. And so I call this a ladder drill, and again it's working on pace control. So I start with the nearest one, work on my balance, grip pressure, being aware of what way the ball's coming off the face. If it's starting a little left or right, it's normally because of my ball position. I'm purely working on pace, tempo, relaxed hands. That's perfect. Okay, work back further. Again, getting the feel for the pace I want to hit it at. I square up behind it. Yeah, perfect pace again. Line's pretty good today, so my eye's definitely in. Ball position is good, which is left to center for me. And I do a few more putting strokes, get a feel for pace. Pretty consistent here, getting a good line. Yeah, perfect. So I just repeat that another time uphill. I do it downhill, I do them flat. So it's 3 different ways of doing it, but always working on pace control. From there, I'm also visualizing seeing the ball going in the hole before I hit every putt. So it's like a drain where the ball goes pulled down a current and gets dragged into this drain like a whirlwind effect into the hole. So every putt I stand over, I feel like I'm going to hold. Now from here, I'm going to use what we call around the clock, which is now working on feel. I've got the pace and I'm reading the green. So I'll just show you this one very quickly. Now I'll just move this out of the way. So I've placed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 balls in a circle shape, and then the yellow ball here in the middle represents the hole. And what I'm doing is I'm constantly having a look at the putts from different angles, and I'm always trying to find what the straight putt is, and that gives me an idea for a read for the line I want to hit it in. But I go from behind like I am now. I'll say, right, okay, this is a little bit right to left on it, so I'm going to aim a little to the right. It's about a foot putt. Just get a feel for my pace. So I'm aiming inside of the hole. See the ball going in. That's it. Perfect. Come around. So that was right to left. So this one's going to be pretty straight. Same thing again. I just keep repeating that, going around and around and around. I'm reading the putt. So that was right. That was straight. Downhill. And I just keep going around and around. I'll do this one from this angle here. It's right to left. So this is even more right to left. Yeah, perfect. So to go around the clock, constantly around the hole, and I widen it up, and I could do maybe 2 foot, 3 foot putts from that distance. So that's how I'd warm up with my putting. But everything I do in my warm-up routine is preparing me for the golf course. So I'm not really working on squaring up the club face. It's a reaction, it's a feel, it's where my eye is, and I could be working on ball position to correct the club face, how it comes back to the ball. So it could be moving more forward or back, square it up to give me consistent starting lines for the ball. And I'm listening out for contact where it comes out at the middle or toe heel. That helps me with my distance from the ball, and I'm adjusting all the time. So that's me warming up. And then on pace control, just hit loads of long putts, do the ladder effect like I was doing there. Chipping, it's all about contact, club selection, picking spots to land the ball, seeing how the ball reacts on the greens. If the greens are soft, firm, where am I hitting the ball, or am I hitting the ball first? Am I catching the ground slightly heavy? That could be standing too low or too far away. More than likely it's ball position again. It's either too far forward, or if I catch it a little bit too thin, I can catch it too far forward, or it's too far back where I'm trying to help it up a little bit to get it in the air. So I'm seeing which club to work best on the day. And remember, your pre-shot warm up routine for competition. It's all about developing feels. You're working off balance, tempo, and watching out for tension levels, and you're preparing yourself for competition. You're not actually practicing anything, it's just warming up. And this routine has to fit into your lifestyle. As I said, mine's an hour and a half, yours could be 30 minutes at least. Get there a little bit earlier and work on that. I hope this has really helped. If there are any questions with it, please don't be afraid to send them on to me by email or through the website, which is www.williamnoble.ie.